Part 419. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4181. It is the right way to bow your head and proclaim yourself a minister. Not much else to say, at least it can save your life, right? It's enough to save your life. The rest of those who have nothing can be stranded for the time being. Nothing. One by one, they all followed the sand sculptures. While the brain was trembling, the picture in front of him was being locked indefinitely. For a time, the radical words were fully in place. The suppressed consciousness is inexplicably horrifying and unsettling. My lord. I know where the warehouse of Chang'ai Fort is, and there are more beads of faith there. We know that adults like faith beads, so we plan to dedicate all faith beads to adults. My lord, besides that, I also know that the castle master, is the private treasury opened by the trader Suda. There are also a lot of faith beads in it. Grown-ups. An excited heart and trembling hands, only by experiencing it personally can we understand the true meaning of this. For a moment, they looked at each other, feeling aroused, their consciousness was agitated, and their complexions gradually turned red. In the eyes, endless energy is erupting crazily. This is really exciting. Isn't that what you want? When the eyes were raised, the sense of oppression was extremely strong. Is there such a good thing? You are good. Fang Fan froze for a moment, then a smile appeared on his face. Faith bead, isn't that what he wants? This rose in an instant. Originally, Fang Fan thought that he could still pick up 2 or 3 million belief beads, but after arriving at the scene, Fang Fan's eyeballs could not move here. Many. Too much. Master, it has been verified. More than 5 million faith beads were found in the warehouse of Chang'ai Fort. However, 21.48 million faith beads were found in the private treasury of the owner of Chang'ai Castle, Su Dakai. Master, let's send it. Su Dakai, the master of Chang'ai Castle, is really too rich. More than 20 million. Hiss. When Yuan Hanlin said this number, he seemed a little dizzy. It feels like the picture in front of you is spinning infinitely. Not to mention Yuan Hanlin now, even Fang Fan was shocked. More than 20 million. Together, 26 million faith beads. Real? Fang Fan asked back, he wanted to know more precisely. These are completely insane. What else is there to say about this wave? Messy thoughts, completely in the air. Play. Play with the hammer. According to this order, just do a few tricks. Master, there will be no mistakes. It's all handled by me myself. Master, these are the beads of faith. I put it all in this storage ring. Master, you can check it and you will know. Yuan Hanlin said excitedly. Fang Fan is his master. At this moment, in Yuan Hanlin's creed, it is his great honor to keep his master to do something. Thinking of this, the whole person became much more cheerful. The brilliance in the eyes flickered non-stop, and the smile on the corner of the mouth showed without limit. How comfortable it is. Isn't that what you want? Comfortable and flying. Slowly, all followed. Over 26 million faith beads. It's enough for the top 10 legions under my command to fully upgrade to a level. In this way, it will be easier for me to dominate the entire Changling Mansion. Now I have 2 3-star Pseudo-God Realm Legion, Gothic Destroyer God Gatling Legion and Blood Shuro Legion, and the remaining 8 are 2-star Pseudo-God Realm Legion. Let's fully upgrade the remaining 8 2-star Pseudo-God Realm Legions to a higher level. Fang Fan groaned, and spoke directly. Ding. Consumed 9.8 million faith beads to successfully purchase 9.8 million God-level promotion cards, and 8 2-star Pseudo-God Realm Legions were successfully promoted to 3-star Pseudo-God Realm. At this moment, the top 10 legions under Fang Fan's command have all been promoted to the 3-star pseudo-god realm. The 3-star false god is already top-notch among the village owners. If you get along well, being a deputy castle master or something is not a problem. For the general castle master, it is basically between the 4-star pseudo-god realm and the 6-star pseudo-god realm. Just like Sudakai, the lord of Chingai Castle who died just now, he is a 5-star pseudo-god. There are more than 10 million faith beads left. It can also upgrade a 3-star pseudo-god realm army to a 4-star pseudo-god realm. There is a qualitative leap between the 3-star pseudo-god realm and the 4-star pseudo-god realm. 4-star pseudo-god realm can serve as the castle master. No matter how good your family is in the 3-star pseudo-god realm, you can't be the castle owner. That's the gap. The point is, there is only such a place. What should this quota be used for? Call. This is the most important thing. If you don't grasp this point well, you will be blind for nothing. At times like this, you must stabilize your thoughts. How to promote it next? Blood Azura Legion, Gothic Destroyer Gatling Legion, or the Dragon Army. Each has its pros and cons. If the Blood Shura Legion is promoted to the 4-star pseudo-god realm, then after using the Legion's exclusive skill Sura Unity, it will display the highest combat power of the 6-star pseudo-god realm, plus Nyan's control the supernatural skill of war can even directly obliterate the existence of the 6-star pseudo-god realm. It would be even stronger if the Gothic Destroyer Gatling Legion was raised to a 4-star pseudo-god realm. After a wave, who will fight for the front? Basically, enemies below the 4-star pseudo-god realm, kill as many as they come. As for the Shenlong Gran Legion, after casting Human Dragon Unity, it can also increase its combat power by 1 level, and it is a scattered type of combat power. If the Shenlong Gran Legion is raised to a 4-star pseudo-god, then in 1 hour, you can have 18 5th-order false gods. Why? This is really a difficult multiple-choice question. The key is, not enough faith beads. We still have to occupy more fortresses and snatch more faith beads. The speed at which the village master gathers the beads of faith is too slow. If you go directly to the fort, the harvest is not bad. Well, relatively speaking, this is the most important thing. In terms of mentality, gradually stabilize. At least, it shouldn't be too messy. If you want to quickly occupy more fortresses, you need to upgrade the Gothic Destroyer Gatling Legion. Using the Gothic Gatling Legion to carry out a comprehensive sweep, the occupation speed is absolutely invincible. Fang Fan nodded, gradually having an idea in his heart. Of course, at this moment, I am also preparing to prepare according to this idea. Basically not a big problem. Just follow the established rhythm and you're done. How big is it? Keep your mental rhythm stable, everything can collapse. This is the next strategic plan. Promote in an all-round way, occupy more forts, and search for faith beads. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 4182. Promoted to the Gothic Destroyer Gatling Legion. After all, Fang Fan made such a decision. Thinking secretly in my heart, the brilliance in my eyes burst out without limit. Thoughts fluttering in place, feeling, comprehensive and abrupt. What should be in place still needs to be in place. In silence, naturally everything is there. Ding. Consumed 12 million faith beads and successfully purchased 12 million god-level promotion cards, the 3-star pseudo-god Gatling army successfully promoted to the 4-star pseudo-god realm. In this way, Fang Fan will not have many faith beads in his hand. According to the established direction, stabbing in an all-round way. Nowadays, out of the 10 castles in Changling Mansion, 5 belong to Snow Eagle Castle. Now, we have signed a covenant with Snow Eagle Fort, so we won't touch their fort for now. Of the remaining 5 forts, Qinghai Fort has already been captured by us. There are Lishuabao, Yugubao, Haijingbao and Helabao remaining. Among them, Lishuo Fort and Yugo Fort are relatively strong, and their overall combat power is even stronger than Qinghai Fort. As for Haijingbao and Helabao, they seem to be stretching their hips a lot. This is our chance. If you grasp it, it's pretty good. According to this order, it will be fully expanded. The murmuring sound followed, and the picture in front of him couldn't help turning around. It is more than words. Then attack Haijingbao and Helabao first. It's just right on the way. Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then gradually started to move. With the comprehensive assistance of the 9 3-star Pseudo-God Realm Legions and the 4-star Pseudo-God Realm Gothic Gatling Legion, it is too easy to lead the overall situation. From all angles, it is basically not a big problem. Fang Fan let out a mouthful of turbid air, and then stretched himself, feeling joyful all over his body and mind. At this moment, it is good to promote it in an all-round way according to this kind of joyful consciousness. For a time, it was well-founded and full of excitement. The owner of Qinghai Fort, Su Dakai, was beheaded, and the news that Qinghai Fort was occupied by Filong village spread throughout the Changling mansion in an instant. It's not much of a secret either. If there is a war here, there will always be a winner. Now it is equivalent to the victory and defeat. If this pattern continues to develop in an all-round way, sooner or later, various inexplicable crises will erupt. Changling Mansion, the Mansion City, inside the mansion of the Mansion Master. Ah! Is this the result of your battle? Speak. Speak. What's wrong? Why are everyone dumb? Can't talk anymore. Dog things. All dog things. The rebellion in Snow Eagle Fort has not been eliminated yet. Why is another Filong village here? Didn't Su Dakai, the master of Qinghai Fort, promise me that he would kill all these rebels? Is this the result he swore to? With such a record, do you have the face to put it in front of the palace master? Are you just trying to piss off the palace master? Speak. Speak. My palace master, if you die of anger, won't you feel comfortable? I'm talking to you. Don't you understand? Hesteri's roar followed, and his eyes were full of murderous intent. While talking at this moment, his complexion became more and more cold. For a moment, it seemed that everything was going to be completely wiped out. The crazily suppressed consciousness agitated the whole body and mind, and then swelled up. Damn it, all the hateful thing. Why not die? Ah! They're all a bunch of bastards. Damn thing. A bunch of dogs. Hesteri's roar followed. The crazy ideas in the eyes are constantly bursting out. The more I thought about it, the more unreasonable that feeling became. Right now, I feel pain and uneasiness in my heart. I can't take it anymore. Can't wait to kill all of them. Kill them all. Lu Hong, the head of the Changling mansion, clutched his chest and couldn't help rolling his eyes crazily at this moment. At this moment, his face was extremely gloomy. As he spoke, his teeth were chattering. One can imagine how insane that feeling is. Unnecessary feeling, almost completely messy. Die. All dead. In the recent period of time in Changling Mansion, too many things broke out. From the time when Lei Hai, the Lord of Snow Eagle Castle, was promoted to the 7-star pseudo-god realm, things went wrong. He summoned Lei Hai, the Lord of Snow Eagle Castle, to enter the city, but was rejected, and then rebelled. Immediately after that, they took down 4 castles in Changling Mansion one after another. Including Snow Eagle Castle itself, 5 castles are gone, completely gone. Originally, Changling Mansion could still control 5 forts, half of the country. Now another accident happened in Qinghai Fort, and Changling Mansion was lost again. In this case, there is no hope at all. Looking at the past, they looked at each other blankly. Gradually, a word could not be uttered, and the whole person was in a state of absolute ignorance. Numb, but insane. It's nothing, just playing around a bit. This feeling is really not that comfortable. That's fine with Snow Eagle Fort, now the thieves are very powerful. But the rebellion in Changaibayo must be suppressed as soon as possible. Otherwise, sooner or later there will be some unrest. The scale and proportion of this aspect must be grasped well. Otherwise there must be some mishaps. We must let other people see the end of the traitor. Let them be terrified and terrified. Otherwise, this rebellion will be one after another, and it will never be finished. In this way, wouldn't it be sure to die? Damn! Damn! The posture of gnashing teeth was fully displayed, and then the brilliance in the eyes flickered rapidly. As thoughts fluttered, the sense of oppression seemed extremely strong. For a moment, everything around was completely contained and returned to the original point. This wave, we must keep the rhythm. Can't be messed up, never messed up. Lu Hong, the head of the Changling mansion, walked back and forth anxiously, already planning how to send troops in his heart. Let Li Yafu come over. Order him to command 2,000 troops. This rebellion in Filong village must be put to death. Kill. Kill without mercy. No more turmoil is allowed. Whoever dares to mess around again, kill Wushi. Kill Wushi. The posture of gnashing teeth was fully displayed, and the brilliance in the eyes flickered frantically. For a while, all kinds of motivation were fully in place, and the corners of the mouth muttered, all consciousness was extremely suppressed. That kind of mood, one can imagine how crazy it is. For a while, it was completely unclear. This time, Lu Hong, the head of the Changling mansion, wanted to take Filong Jai and Fang Fan to the knife. It's a bit troublesome to fight Snow Eagle Fort, but he thinks that there should be nothing wrong with Filong village, right? To top the sky, that is to say, kill Changai Fort, and have the ability to destroy Ubeo. And what he sent out was 2,000 soldiers. More importantly, he also sent his general Li Yafu. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4183. Li Yafu is a 6-star pseudo-god existence. It's my general. With the addition of 2,000 soldiers and horses, we will definitely be able to take back Shanghai Fort in one fell swoop. The precarious Changling mansion. Hey! The palace master didn't say when he would come to help. Will the palace master not prepare assistance? If this is the case, it will be completely cold. There is also Sanjiang mansion, no news. Damn it! Is it true that I can only agree to their unreasonable request? These rebels, why don't they die? Lu Hong, the head of the Changling mansion, clenched his fists tightly, his eyes full of murderous intent. Snow Eagle Fort. The news that Changai Fort was captured by Fang Fan also reached here. So fast. The owner of Changai Castle, Su Dakai, is a 5-star pseudo-god existence, and he was also directly killed. Hee, it looks like we underestimated our ally Fang Fan. His abilities are far beyond our limits. Interesting, a little interesting. 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 It actually looks like this. Snort. The cold snort swept across, and the consciousness was fully in place. Thoughts wandered, and the sense of oppression seemed extremely strong. For a while, there were sporadic special feelings. Lei Hai, the owner of Snow Eagle Fort, showed a smile on his face, and at the same time, his eyes were full of solemnity. For a while, my heart gradually became cold. There is a little more stagnation in my heart. It also gradually became awkward in feeling. My lord, why do you seem to be very unhappy? This Long Jai is our ally. Our ally took down Shanghai Fort, which means our strength has grown again. If we continue with this trend, we will be able to successfully kill that useless palace master in a short time. At that time, you will be able to drive straight in and successfully sit on the seat of Palace Master. This subordinate congratulates Lord Palace Master in advance. Yang He, the Deputy Lord of Snow Eagle Castle, boasted. His face was full of excitement at the moment. Obviously, he was feeling quite happy. For him, this is an opportunity. Opportunity hard to refuse. All of a sudden, all the sense of hierarchy was pushed into place. Gradually, a deeper level of consciousness is erupting. Very comfortable. If the castle master becomes the palace master, wouldn't it be logical for him, the deputy castle master, to become the deputy palace master? Yang He, the deputy lord of Snow Eagle Castle, licked his lips, and his face turned crimson involuntarily. At this moment, thinking secretly in my heart, the picture in front of me couldn't help showing it in place. That touch of passion completely followed the madness. The moment of crazy sprint is here. Coming soon. The future pattern will change sooner or later. That kind of mood, indescribably happy and excited. An excited heart and trembling hands, only by experiencing it personally can we understand the true meaning of this. It was too comfortable, and then the whole person became numb. The seat of the palace lord. He. Lu Hong, will definitely be resigned. The position of palace master must be given up. However, it is unknown who will be able to sit on the seat of palace master. There are some things that can't be said well. I can't tell the truth. Could it be me? And that Fang Fan? His existence is the biggest change. His growth rate is really too fast. You know, he's just the deputy head of Long village. First, he was invincible in each village and conquered 9 villages. And now, I'm following the future more and more. A mid-level fort like Shanghai Fort can directly suppress it. How long has it been? Maybe it won't be long before we can plunder the manor. And what about our progress in the past half-month? Nothing, we have been confronting the soldiers of Changling Mansion all the time. This allows Fang Fan and the others to find an opportunity for unlimited development. I always feel that this Fang Fan will create an immortal miracle. No one can tell what will happen in the future. It will explode. It will really explode. I have a hunch that this Fang Fan is the strongest opponent we are about to face. We underestimated him now, underestimated him too much. This can't be done. Why? The murmuring sound followed, and the picture in front of him seemed to be shattering little by little. In addition to the shock, I don't understand it at all. The feeling deep in my heart completely sank down. Sporadic ideas are bursting out without limit. According to this trend, it is fully manifested in place. Exciting, yet real. In terms of feeling, it is full of grace. For it. My lord, are you thinking too much? All along, my subordinates feel that you have exaggerated this Fang Fan. If the castle master thinks that Fang Fan is really dangerous, his subordinates will lead someone to kill him right now. Don't let the castle master worry so much. Yang He, the deputy lord of Snow Eagle Castle, rolled his eyes and was speechless at the moment. That's it? A group of sand sculptures were making a lot of noise. But in the end, isn't it still heartbroken? In the end, the interpretation still feels like this. It doesn't really mean much. Far-fetched, really too far-fetched. At this moment, Yang He, the deputy lord of Snow Eagle Castle, looked down upon the Lord Lei Hai. When he just started rebelling before, the palace master was indeed okay, and he was quite stubborn in every aspect. But now, follow the fear again and again. In this way, the hips are completely followed. At first glance, I feel inexplicably that this guy is a sand sculpture. At the same time, this sand sculpture consciousness still seems so far-fetched. In the end it was completely unknown. He. Do you think the lord of this castle is worrying too much? Believe it or not, if you chase and kill that Fang Fan now, you must be the one who died. Lei Hai, the owner of Snow Eagle Castle, glanced coldly at Yang He, the deputy owner. He knew exactly what was going on in this guy's mind. It's just that sometimes I'm too lazy to point it out. Ah. Yes, 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 the castle master is right. Subordinates are dull. The subordinates know their mistakes. Yang He, the deputy master of Snow Eagle Castle, couldn't help but tremble when he heard the words of dissatisfaction from the master Lei Hai. At the same time, he took a deep breath, his eyes flickered in place, and the anxious mood was extraordinarily real. For a while, it was completely unclear. The consciousness of pulling the hips swept over directly, inexplicably making people feel a little chilly. Look down on it, but the superficial work still needs to be done, and there must be no sloppiness, otherwise big things will happen. As soon as he thought of this, his brain suddenly buzzed and trembled. Thinking about this, his expression is unpredictable. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4184. Yang He, the deputy lord of Snow Eagle Castle, lowered his head, pretending to be cowardly. I almost exposed my ambition just now. Something big almost happened. Fortunately, it collapsed at the last moment. Otherwise it will be really cold. Wiping the cold sweat off his forehead, he couldn't help but let out a sigh. The more I think about it, the more frightened I become. This feeling is very strong. For a while, I didn't know why. Something's wrong with your recent state. Yang He, aren't there too many people who have complimented you recently, so you're getting a little carried away? Those castle masters are also respectful to you, the deputy castle master, so you think you are superior. Do you think that if the master of this castle dies, you will be able to take over? Su Dakai, the lord of Snow Eagle Fort, snorted coldly, and there was a hint of ruthlessness in his eyes. When his eyes flickered, the sense of oppression seemed extremely strong. His thoughts drifted away, as if he wanted to completely contain everything around him. Boom! Yang He knelt down on the ground, trembling all over. At this time, I was completely panicked. My lord, I don't have one. My lord, you are clearly aware. My lord, my subordinates have never thought of this before. My lord. This subordinate is wrong. My lord, please forgive me this time. Don't dare, my subordinates don't dare, never dare again. It was all the subordinates' fault before, it was the subordinates' fault. My lord. Boom. Bang bang bang. The state of kowtowing swept across the board. For a moment, he almost bled his whole brain. While talking, the whole person's state seemed extremely numb. The mood is even more desolate. Impermanence of life. Too difficult. The more I think about it, the more panic I feel. At this moment, he felt the killing intent of my lord. On weekdays, the owner of Snow Eagle Castle, Lei Hai, behaved more gentlemanly. After a long time, Yang He felt that the owner of the castle was not very good at killing people, so he didn't care. But now this feeling has completely changed. Completely changed. The fearful consciousness in his mind gathered in an all-round way, and then he kowtowed like garlic, touching the ground frantically. Excited heart, trembling hands, almost spit out a mouthful of blood. Too difficult. Impermanence of life. Completely followed by despair. Looking at all this in horror, I almost vomited blood. Snort. Be more careful in the future. This time I will give you a warning. Click. The master of Snow Eagle Castle, lay high, snorted coldly, and then walked over and stomped on it, crushing the legs of the deputy master, Yang He, into pieces. It can be repaired later, but the pain at the time was so tearing. Hysteria's roar followed, and the whole person fell into extreme numbness and couldn't extricate himself. For a while, I couldn't speak at all. One can imagine how anxious the mood is. Ah! Woo! Call! Wrong, wrong! Don't dare, don't dare! Don't! Boom! Yang He, the deputy lord of Snow Eagle Castle, was calmly on the ground, looking at his shattered leg, wanting to cry at this moment. There is an extremely strong feeling of wanting to cry right now. But in the end, it also became silent. I don't know why. In the next few days, heavy news came one after another. 2 days later, Fort Lisieux was breached. The owner of Fort Lisieux was killed. 3 days later, Hugo Fort was breached, and the owner of Hugo Fort was killed. Fang Fan already owns the territory of the 3 castles. Equals. Such news spread throughout the Changling mansion. Before that, Fang Fan could only be regarded as his first show. But it's different now, the current Fang Fan has been remembered by too many people. All eyes flocked to this place, and Fang Fan became angry for a while. The city of Changling Prefecture. What the hell is Li Yafu doing? Tell him to send troops quickly. Quickly kill the rebellious Fang Fan. If you dare to delay, kill without mercy. What are you doing? How bad is the current situation, can't he see clearly? Ah! Idiots. All are idiots. Die. Damn it. Dog things. All dog things. Send me the palace lord's order. Let Li Yafu directly attack Fang Fan. If you haven't achieved anything yet, let him go. Just let him go. Damn thing. Ah! What the hell do you want to do? Death. Must die. Lu Hong, the head of the Changling mansion, was furious. While roaring at this moment, the circles of his eyes gradually turned red. The extremely anxious mood is condensed in place, and the will is in the limitless abuse. Thinking about this, one can imagine how anxious he seemed. For a while, it was completely cold. Excited heart and trembling hands, only by experiencing it personally can we understand the feeling. Immediately, unlimited oppression is underway. Die. All must die. Why don't you die? At this moment, they collided with each other, and the sense of cruelty and killing was too strong. For a while, I couldn't control those subtle rhythms at all. Call. It took 5 days to take Lisieux Fort and Hugo Fort. Seized, more than 30 million faith beads. Combined with the original savings, it is enough to promote 3 legions to the 4-star pseudo-god realm again. The Shenlong Grand Legion must occupy a place, and then the Blood Shuro Legion. Then promote a Yellow Turban God Summoner Legion to the 4-star pseudo-god realm. The Yellow Turban God Summoner Legion has an extremely powerful summoning ability, and has an advantage in group battles. Well, for the time being, follow this direction, basically, it's not a big problem. According to the established rhythm, comprehensive praise is in place. Fang Fan raised his eyes and thought to himself, his thoughts gradually fluttered. Choose to promote the 3-star pseudo-god realm Yellow Turban God Summoner Legion, Shenlong Grand Legion, and Blood Shuro Legion to 4-star false god realm. Ding. Consumed 37 million faith beads and successfully purchased 37 million god level promotion cards. The 3-star pseudo-god realm Yellow Turban God Summoner Legion, the Shenlong Grand Legion and the Blood Shuro Legion successfully promoted to the 4-star pseudo-god realm. In addition to the previously promoted 4-star pseudo-god realm Legion Gothic Destroying God Gatling Legion, Fang Fan now has 4 4-star pseudo-god realm Legion under his command. Fang Fan nodded silently, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, feeling quite satisfied. According to the established rhythm, it is developing non-stop. It feels quite wonderful. 4 4-star pseudo-god realm legions and 6 3-star pseudo-god realm legions, this is where my confidence lies. When I captured Lishuo Castle, I also got a special talisman. I always feel that there is a special energy surging in it. And I feel that this golden talisman seems to suit me quite well. What the hell is this? Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4185. Fang Fan frowned, and then put all his thoughts on the golden talisman. For a moment, the brilliance in the eyes continued to flicker, and the thoughts were silently revealed. Fang Fan groaned, as if he suddenly thought of something, then cut his index finger, and immediately a drop of blood dripped onto the golden talisman. Brush. A dense golden light flickered frantically, and it was extremely glaring at this moment. For a moment, the whole person seemed to be sublimated in an all-round way. That feeling is exploding without limit. Stimulating, and real. Ah! Fang Fan frowned stubbornly, and his facial expression suddenly became ferocious. For a moment, his whole body was shaking crazily. Those consciousnesses in the mind are being contained without limit. The excited heart trembled, and the consciousness was completely numb. This time it's completely unclear. Immediately immersed in this consciousness completely, there is no room for maneuver at all. Among them, the madness, let alone tell that. Black lines flickered all over his forehead, his thoughts were in a mess, and he had an inexplicable urge to vomit blood. That kind of feeling gathered in the whole body, and it seemed extremely surging. For a moment, consciousness or something was completely silent. Me. Puff. Suddenly, Fang Fan spat out a mouthful of reversed blood, and immediately fell into a coma. Fang Fan didn't know how long it had been, nor how many ups and downs and changes he had gone through. I just felt as if there were countless worms shaking crazily all over my body. That taste, that feeling, completely numbed Fang Fan at this moment. Gradually, it also drove him crazy. At this moment, a mouthful of blood was poured out, and he couldn't even utter a word. Numbed by this, the mentality exploded. There is absolutely nothing to say, nothing to say. It's almost like following a few bullshits. Very real and very clear. For the rest, it is completely unknown. When Fang Fan woke up again, he felt an unprecedented sense of relief. The golden talisman is missing. That must be a monster. If that wasn't the case, how could I suddenly be in a coma? Call. Too dangerous. It felt so close to dying. It feels a little too dangerous. In the future, things that are too dangerous, we should be more secure, and we must not be careless. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, thinking silently in his heart, his thoughts were surging little by little. Etc. Why do I feel that there is still the imprint of the golden talisman in my body? This thing entered my body. Now this thing is continuously contributing all kinds of energy to my body. Damn it! How did it become such a ghost? Fang Fan's face was gloomy, and there was a smoldering look in his eyes. At this moment, the consciousness is gathered in place, and the expression slowly becomes extremely sinister. As for the other messy feelings, I can't tell them at all. It feels like being stuck in the neck at this time. That taste and feeling is really uncomfortable. There is quite an urge to vomit blood. With his hands numb, it was completely difficult to control himself. When did this golden talisman enter my body? I didn't notice it at all. Call. Monster. It really is a monster. I almost forgot about this thing. Damn it. This wave is almost unstoppable. My cultivation is a 1-star pseudo-god realm. Am I not a weak demigod? Upgrade 3 levels in a row. Isn't this also the special effect of the golden talisman? Fang Fan's eyes widened and trembled. For a while, I couldn't say a word. There is only infinite shock and tremor deep in my heart. This thing is too exciting. There's another good thing. Fang Fan couldn't help muttering to himself. And I feel that this golden talisman is still continuously providing me with energy. That's right, it's actually like this. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, his thoughts were completely flying in his mind, and it was completely difficult to control the surging thoughts in his heart for a while. At this moment, it is simply difficult to lock. The more he thought about it, the more his sense of rhythm exploded. With an excited heart and trembling hands, only by experiencing it personally can we know the true meaning of it. After thinking about it, this feeling is naturally in place. Feel it, it feels natural. Master! Master! As soon as Fang Fan took 2 steps, the 6 heroes came hand in hand. Fang Fan's cultivation has broken through, and their potential limit has also exploded. At this moment, they have all been promoted to the 4-star false god realm. It is also a comprehensive breakthrough. Fang Fan nodded silently, and the smile on his face gradually increased. Thoughts fluttered in place, and the sense of oppression gradually became stronger. This mood gradually became excited. The taste is very real and clear. At present, it is being promoted in an all-round way according to the established direction. It feels pretty good. Master, there is a battle report. Changling Mansion sent troops to attack. Lu Hong, the head of the Changling Mansion, took Li Yafu as his commander, and led an army of 2,000 to kill him. Master, how do we fight? Yuan Hanlin wiped the sweat from his forehead. Recently, he has been running intelligence outside every day, and he looks really tired. After all, is it still here? I think so. We have now captured 3 forts in Changling Mansion. Currently there are only 2 castles belonging to Lu Hong, the lord of the Changling Mansion. He was naturally very anxious. But he doesn't dare to confront Snow Eagle Fort directly, after all Snow Eagle Fort has a great reputation. Now, do you want to take me under the knife? Then achieve what you want. Interesting. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, thinking to himself, his thoughts exploded in his mind instantly. Gradually, bursts of turbulent pressure invaded. For a while, I didn't know why, and I couldn't control this kind of thinking and rhythm at all. In the end, he was crushed in the present moment and had no ability to resist. I can only flutter rudely there. It seemed rather sad. While thoughts are flying, everything is silent. The sense of experience becomes more and more far-fetched. Since they are here, don't let them go. No matter how small a mosquito is, it's still meat. Swallow it. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth rose slightly, thinking to himself, his thoughts exploded directly in his mind. Immediately there was an extremely strong sense of oppression. That taste, that feeling, all became eager. Although the lineup of followers under my command is getting better and better, I can't slack off. Bad, still too much. After all, I offended a true god like the god of destruction. Ghost knows when this god of destruction will come looking for it. Besides that, we have to look for Bai Piao. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4186. Fang Fan frowned, then couldn't help letting out a sigh of relief. As thoughts fluttered, his expression gradually became abrupt. Many consciousnesses and thoughts are fully tense. The more I think about it, the more this feeling becomes numb. Not only Bai Piao, but also Xiao Xiao, who has not been found yet. God's domain is so big, it's too difficult to find them with my own ability. I need to work harder. Why? I want to climb to the highest peak step by step. Only when I become stronger can I slowly control my own destiny. Otherwise, I don't know what it will look like in the future. That's not what I want to see. It's numb and far-fetched. It's not what I want, it's useless. The sound of emotion swept across the board, and for a while, his expression changed to the extreme. Fang Fan had these things in his heart. Now it feels like these things are about to take root. At this moment, one is turbulent back and forth in Fang Fan's heart, so he has no chance to lock himself. That taste and that feeling inexplicably made him feel at a loss and unable to control himself. So painful, but also stubborn. Impermanence of life. Maybe that's how it feels. The rest of them are missing, so naturally there is no need to continue tearing them down. Not too necessary, more numb. Thinking thousands of times, thinking calmly. Probably, that's it. General Li Yafu of the Changling Mansion moved slowly with an army of 2,000. General. My lord has urged you many times. Let the general send troops quickly. It's been a long time since I've traveled this far. General, if this continues, I'm afraid everyone will not look good. General, what I mean, you should know. General, we need to be more urgent about this kind of thing. The cold snort followed and swept across, and the oppressive feeling was fully in place. For a while, all kinds of feelings were completely overwhelmed. Excited heart and trembling hands, only by experiencing it can we know the real feeling. Very real and very clear. Feel it silently, and you will have everything naturally. Sun Yafu glanced at Zhao Kui, the mansion lord's confidant next to him, with a look of impatience on his face. Sand sculpture. Are you in such a hurry to die? To whom do you show your loyalty? What is the key point? Leader Zhao Kui, there are some things I didn't want to say, but seeing you like this, I know, I have to say it. People like us have to keep a low profile in everything we do, and be more aware of current affairs. What is the situation now, don't you understand? Is that Fang Fan an ordinary rebel? It was rumored a long time ago that this rebel Fang Fan is the brother of Lei Hai, the owner of Snow Eagle Castle. Even if this Fang Fan is not as good as that Lei Hai, I'm afraid it's not much worse. Otherwise, with the arrogance of that fortress Lord Lei Hai, why would Fang Fan be his brother? Look at his record again. Let alone destroying 9 villages in 9 days, now 3 forts have been destroyed in 5 days. Are these castle owners all idiots? Ask yourself, are there really so many idiots? If you can't think clearly about these things, if you can't explain clearly, then you are really a sand sculpture. You should know what I mean by saying this. There's no need to talk about what's there right now. The cold snort swept across, and all kinds of oppressive feelings invaded with a single word. All of a sudden, all the feelings are in place. The rest of those who have nothing, naturally there is no need to follow the bullshit. If you feel safe in your heart, you will naturally be stable. Good feeling. Awareness is clear. Feel it now, a real batch. Li Yafu wanted to paddle. He felt too dangerous. How can it be possible to oppress him in an all-round way at every turn? It cooled down in minutes. Thinking of this, my whole body became terrified and uneasy. As his eyes flickered, his footsteps followed crazily backwards. Hang around outside, and when the time comes, go back to Changling Mansion, isn't it good? Why do you have to fight and kill? General Li Yafu, what do you mean by that? Could it be that you are afraid of rebels? Then why didn't you make it clear in front of the palace master? Why did you have to say those impassioned words in front of the palace master? Didn't you say you could suppress everything? Snort. Could it be that what you said is all false? The cold snort swept across, and his complexion was extremely gloomy. For a while, without a word of nonsense, he was about to completely suppress the consciousness without limit in front of his eyes. It's almost like that. Very clear and very real. If I didn't say that in front of the palace master, I would be dead. Heh. Don't you still know what kind of temper palace master has? My lord is not a good friend at all. I have to suppress you to the extreme every minute. That kind of taste is not so pleasant. If I say that I can't beat those rebels, the palace master will probably slap me to death. Can I tell you? Dare I say it? Oh. How funny. The sneer was all in place, and then he rolled his eyes crazily. The disdain on General Li Yafu's face was beyond words. That palace master Lu Hong was not able to speak at all. They will oppress you at every turn, what can you do? Isn't it just obscene? Then you can't deceive Lord Palace Master. My lord is still waiting for you to kill the traitor Fang Fan, and then use it to strengthen the army. If you do this, the Palace Master will definitely not let you go. How will you explain to Lord Palace Master at that time? Call. At that time, you will definitely not be able to explain it. Palace Master's confidant Zhao Kui had a dark face and couldn't help gnashing his teeth. Who are these people? Damn it! What's so difficult about that? Isn't it easy to fool the Palace Master? As long as you can cooperate with me, Leader Zhao Kui, there will be no problem. At that time, I can completely say that Snow Eagle Fort has reinforcements. In order to preserve the vitality of Changling Mansion, I have been standing still. Isn't this reason very smooth? Basically there will be no surprises. General Li Yafu waved his hand with a calm expression on his face. I don't know how many times this has happened. How big is it? Mentally, extremely stable. As soon as I thought of this, the whole person became relaxed. From the point of view of General Li Yafu, Zhao Kui, the mansion lord's confidant, can also be corrupted. In this way, it is easier for him to paddle. We are not fools, we know what to do. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4187. Is this reliable? No. Won't there be any accidents? What if something happens? The belief of the palace master's confidant Zhao Kui was a little shaken. Taking a deep breath at this moment, his eyes flickered in place. General Li Yafu's mouth gradually raised. Safe. When asking this question, the explanation can be directly dragged into the water. At this moment, the sense of panic in my heart is fully gathered, the consciousness is persistent, and the rhythm, suddenly rises. There are thousands of thoughts and emotions. The thoughts in my mind gradually increased, and for a while, I couldn't grasp it at all. An accident. What could happen? Don't worry. I know it. I've got it all figured out. Do not worry. With a big wave of his hand, the arrogance on his face was beyond words. Gradually, it doesn't matter at all. General Li Yafu began to be persuasive. If you want me to say, there is no need for us brothers to toss about here. How tired. And it's all thankless work. Think about it carefully, isn't it like this? From all angles, it's too sandy. Generally speaking, it is impossible to win in this situation, so there is a high probability that you will lose your troops. Aren't all the soldiers and horses lost here the palace master? Actually, we did this for the good of the palace master. Maybe the Lord Palace Master doesn't understand us very well now, but after a long time, we must have picked up our good intentions. Tell me, is my arrangement reasonable? Leader Zhao Kui, what do you think? Chief Zhao Kui. Why don't you speak? You should talk about it. What's up? Is my arrangement reasonable or not? General Li Yafu raised his eyebrows, and his whole person became smug as he spoke. Rhythm consciousness and so on, all followed. For a moment, his eyes fluttered, his head held high, and he felt that everything was in place. If you feel it, it's quite comfortable. It does feel like that. Palace Master's confidant Zhao Kui opened his mouth, and he didn't know what to say at the moment. Because people have finished talking. In all aspects, first come is too real. For the rest, wouldn't it be numb in an instant? Then, that might be okay. For the time being, let's just leave it at that. Wait for the future, maybe there will be changes in the future. I obey you. I won't say anything. It's just that if the master of the palace really blames it, I also hope that General Li can help me more. General Li is very famous with the palace master. Palace master's confidant Zhao Kui raised his eyebrows, and then said very courteously from the side. The meaning expressed by this wave is relatively clear. The rest, followed by numbness. While the eyes flickered, the words were completely silent. In this wave, the dead end also collapsed on the spot. Almost as imaginary. Very real, very clear. Isn't this a trivial matter? Ha ha. As long as brother Zhao Kui and you are of one mind with me, these things will be nothing at all. Ha ha ha. Our brothers are united, and our benefits can cut through gold. Brother Zhao Kui, don't worry, you and I are about to take off in full swing. This world will belong to you and my brother. On this point, you can rest assured. In the future of you and my brother will be even brighter. Tisk tisk tisk. When I think of this, my heart can't help but feel a little surging. You and I, brothers, are destined to take off in full swing. Now I can already feel the wonderful future. Thinking about it this time, it's really exciting. The voice of emotion gathered in all directions, and the eyes were shining brightly. While talking, the corners of his mouth could not help but rise rapidly. This mood immediately exploded. It's hard to contain this feeling right now. Li Yafu and Zhao Kui looked at each other, then smiled. They understand each other. I don't understand, in fact, that's it. It is what it should be. At this moment, there is no need to say too much. Consciousness gathered in place, eyes burst out completely. What should come will always follow. This is the most desirable future situation. What will happen in the future is unknown. But at least he can have a good time now, so that he won't collapse. In this way, it is enough. Fang Fan waited for a long time, but he just didn't wait for anyone to come. From the beginning to the end, it looked extremely sandy. No one. Where's the enemy army? Where are the 2,000 enemy troops? Isn't it less than 100 miles away? Isn't it just a charge? Why haven't you arrived yet? Is there something wrong with the information? Fang Fan frowned, and while talking, his expression changed very wonderfully. Thinking about it now, I can only think in this direction. This combination seems to be a little bit wrong. Rhythm and so on, are a bit pulled. A where bit, nothing. This. That's it? It also feels a bit out of place. Fang Fan's expression changed slightly, and his thoughts seemed a little scattered. This, shouldn't be. Before I clearly saw that the enemy had come. How could be? Master, I saw it with my own eyes. Master, subordinates dare not lie. Master, you have to trust me. Owner. Yuan Hanlin's body trembled, and while he was talking, the panic in his eyes was beyond words. At this moment, his eyes flickered in place, and the whole person seemed a little hesitant. Thoughts wandered in place. The more I thought about it, the more numbness and pain I felt in my heart. Such painful and restless thoughts gathered in the bottom of my heart, and I almost vomited out a mouthful of blood. Oh shit. This is too difficult. Life is impermanent. Don't think too much about it. I didn't say I didn't believe you. It's just that I'm thinking about something. Go and see what happened. We can't stay here forever, can we? It's not like that either. There's got to be something else to do. Fang Fan murmured, his thoughts wandered silently while speaking. Yuan Hanlin's work efficiency is still very high. Soon, the news came back. Owner. They didn't move. Walk slower than a tortoise. Take 2 steps and rest for 3 minutes. Are they sure they're here to fight? It always feels like they are here to play. Master, they are too weird. Yuan Hanlin opened his mouth and said in a daze. This really exceeded his expectations. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4188. Fang Fan was stunned, his expression unpredictable. His thoughts drifted away, and his consciousness was a little out of control. It just feels weird. Are these really sand sculptures? If not, why this? Gathering heavy troops here, is it just for the sake of being funny? Now the appearance of the sand sculpture is too obvious. Come here for a show? Want a game of tortoise and the hare? Fang Fan's expression was abrupt, and his thoughts wandered very clearly. I always feel that there is something extraordinarily mysterious in it. Fang Fan's eyes had a strange brilliance. The thoughts are in place, and the expression changes are particularly real. The idea here is bursting out without limit. Master, then, what shall we do now? Could it be, just wait like this? At their speed, I really don't know how long we have to wait. The sound of emotion gathered in place, and at this moment the whole person was completely numb. Yuan Hanlin doesn't know how to implement it right now. If they don't come, we can go. Go, and meet them. The speed is faster. If you solve it earlier, you can also solve a mess. Fang Fan stretched his waist, and his thoughts could not help but flutter as he spoke. Thinking about it, it feels so real. Pretty much, that's it. According to the established orientation, fully respected. Ah. Yuan Hanlin opened his mouth, a little confused. Don't you understand what I said? Fang Fan couldn't help asking back. No. Not. It's just a feeling, somewhat strange. Yuan Hanlin couldn't help but twitched his eyebrows, and said quickly. At a time like this, how dare you talk nonsense? This mentality has to be tense. Army attack. At this moment, the 2,000 troops in Changling Mansion are still dawdling. Traveling all the way to play in the mountains and rivers. From time to time, it can still shake around twice. Li Yafu, the general of Changling Mansion, felt quite comfortable. From his point of view, he felt that this was the life he wanted. I feel flattered invisibly. As for the palace master's confidant Zhao Kui, he showed a look of worry from time to time. But this worried look didn't last long, and soon he was relieved. The two were lying on the dragon chariot, talking to each other, and they felt quite happy. Brother Zhao Kui, be happy. Ha ha ha. Beauty is in your arms, isn't it comfortable? Is this feeling really unpleasant? Ha 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 ha. How is the development of Changling Mansion, what does it have to do with us? The key to being a human being is to be happy. If you are not happy with what you do, what if I let you be the palace master and let you be the palace master? General Li Yafu yawned, and at this moment his whole body seemed to go limp. While stretching at the moment, he showed his laziness. For a moment, the whole person drifted away. The palace master's confidant Zhao Kui seemed to be inspired by Li Yafu's optimism. It seemed less anxious now. His eyes flickered, and the corner of his mouth smiled. Everything is under the arrangement of the general. Zhao Kui is reckless and ignorant, and he is not deeply involved in the world. I hope the general can support him a lot. Zhao Kui, the confidant of the city lord, couldn't help but nod his head quickly while talking, his eyes flickered, and the layout and so on were all in place. This is almost the same attitude and situation. Thoughts wandered, seeming to be real. Only by holding on, can there be hope, and only by holding on can you be qualified to fantasize. Report, report. There are enemy troops. There are enemy troops attacking. General. Problem occurs. Suddenly, a terrified shout followed, attracting everyone's attention. The scouts rushed over in a panic and reported. Enemy. What enemy army? Where did the enemy army come from? Joke. We are here to attack others. Who in the entire Changling mansion can attack us? Snow Eagle Fort? Thunder Sea? Impossible. The elites of Snow Eagle Fort have been restrained by the government soldiers, and it is impossible to dispatch too many troops to attack us. Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. Do not believe rumors, do not pass rumors. Besides, who else can still be our opponent? Speak. Speak. Li Yafu waved his hand, there was too much worry on his face. On the contrary, he seemed very calm at the moment. From his point of view, I don't think it's a big problem. The overall situation is still in a tense stage. For a while, it seemed particularly fun. It seems to have come out of Chengai Castle. It seems that Fang Fan is leading the team. The word of the messenger directly hit the heart of General Li Yafu. General Li Yafu stood up suddenly, his face gradually becoming frightened. What? Are you right? If you dare to report indiscriminately, you have to be careful about your life. General Li Yafu's face was as dark as water, and he couldn't calm down now. While talking at the moment, the corners of his mouth couldn't help twitching. His eyes flickered in place, and his thoughts became completely messed up. At that moment, he was grinding his teeth little by little, and his posture completely collapsed. Son of a bitch. Damn. What is this all about? Can you be a little more serious? Are there any of these? Do this for me? You really want to die? The messenger was directly choked by the General Li Yafu. Bursts of heavy pressure invaded. The messenger kept shaking his body, and at this moment his whole body was completely numb. As his eyes flickered, his thoughts became extremely chaotic. What is this all about? Mess. This thing is in chaos. Damn it. I'll be damned. Damn thing. It's all dog stuff. I'm really about to throw up now. Can you stop for a little bit? I can't hold it anymore. It's time for the Huskies. General, subordinate, how dare this subordinate lie to you? Cough, 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 cough. Everything my subordinates say is true. General, please let this subordinate, this subordinate is almost out of breath. Okay, so uncomfortable. General, don't. Excited heart, trembling hands, numbness and madness can only be understood by experiencing it personally. For a moment, the eyeballs frantically flicked up. With a mouthful of reverse blood stuck in his heart, he couldn't confide in this wave. What kind of beast life is this? Vomiting blood, I really want to vomit blood. Click. There was a sound of bones breaking, and Li Yafu took advantage of the situation and twisted the orderly's neck. Fang Fan. He came so fast. I didn't go looking for him, but he came here by himself. Hateful. Too much deceit. Get things to the end. Snort. This is not very good. If things are done, they are sand sculptures. Li Yafu clenched his fist and said with hatred. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4189. Then, what should we do now? General, do you really want to fight? Didn't you say you couldn't beat it? Palace Master's confidant Zhao Kui stared at his eyes, couldn't help but gasped and said. If you can't stabilize your mentality, you will have to pull your hips completely. Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine. Can't escape this knife after all? What to do? Snored. I really didn't intend to fight him before. But now, maybe. Some things, you have to do it to know. Before, this general was too lazy to take the risk. But now, if I don't want to love you, I won't be able to. Snored. If you want to do something, then come. Dry. If there is a fight, it's not necessarily who wins. Who knows the final outcome? The posture of gnashing teeth was fully displayed, and the eyes gradually became sharper. General Li Yafu's anger gradually gathered. While talking at the moment, the brutal look on his face was vividly displayed. This kind of mood exploded to the extreme. Immediately, followed by a little bit of break. The confrontation situation gradually formed. Fang Fan came in a hurry this time, so he brought 6 heroes around him, as well as 2 legions, the Gatling Legion and the Blood Shuro Legion. So now it seems that there are only a few dozen people. And the other party looked over at a glance, it was huge, it was thousands of people. Call. Fortunately, there are not many of them. Snored. This Fang Fan probably won too much, so he seems too smug. Or because I'm brothers with Lei Hai, the owner of Snow Eagle Castle, so I feel that we don't dare to touch him, so that's why he looks so aggressive. Sooner or later, you have to do it. This is clearly a game of death. If you want to die, isn't it easy? I'll kill you in minutes. According to this basis. Break directly. Whispering sounds followed, and the brilliance in the eyes flickered without limit, and for a while, his thoughts completely exploded. With an excited heart and trembling hands, you can only understand the passion and ideas in it by experiencing it personally. If you can take advantage of the situation and kill this Fang Fan, or capture him alive, then you will have some face in front of the Palace Master. At that time, I will have to properly seal the mouths of those trash. Let them take a good look. I, Li Yafu, am not a coward. Take this opportunity to claim credit in front of the Palace Master. This way, it's really okay. Li Yafu rolled his eyeballs, thinking to himself, and his thoughts fluttered all over. An excited heart and trembling hands, only by experiencing it personally can we understand the true meaning of this. For a while, I gradually became refreshed. Isn't that what you want? Very comfortable, very comfortable. In the final analysis, he is actually an opportunist. Whenever you find an opportunity to speculate, you will not miss it easily. If the risk is too great, they will simply withdraw the body like a bastard. This kind of person can actually mix well in most situations. It's just that in some cases, it will be even more sandy. This kind of thing is really bad. There are some special doorways here. You are Fang Fan. It also looks very ordinary. I thought I was relying on 3 heads and 6 arms. It's really boring. That's it? It's nothing. The sneer followed, and at this moment Li Yafu felt that he was doing it again, that he was following along again. So I couldn't help but add a lot of arrogance to the words. It will be destroyed directly. Do not waste time. After that's settled, we still have to take down Haijing Fort and Heli Fort. Fang Fan stretched, then waved his hand calmly. Immediately, the Blood Shura army of the 4-star pseudo-god realm and the Gothic Gatling army of the 4-star pseudo-god realm began a full-scale sprint. The killing intent of the abuse sprinted to the extreme, and it seemed that everything in front of him was about to be destroyed for a moment. This is the feeling that makes people feel an indescribable sense of surprise. Direct. Exploded. On the spot. Full thrust. Boom. Bang bang bang. The 4-star pseudo-god realm Gothic destroyer Gatling machine gunners began to pour out crazily. At this moment, everything in front of him is being wiped clean. 2,000 troops. A lot. If a shuttle bullet goes down, the 20,000 army will also tremble with fear. General Li Yafu opened his mouth, then glanced numbly at his surroundings, and all his words froze for a moment. At this moment, he didn't know what to say at all. As his lips muttered, he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Is this so surprising? Can you please stop for a while? This thing is all in disorder. If this trend continues, the 2,000 soldiers and horses will not be built at all. Why didn't I stabilize myself? Actually, I know everything. From the very beginning, I knew that Fang Fan was not easy to provoke, so I always wanted to avoid him. That's what I've always thought, and that's exactly what I did. But why didn't I grasp it in the end? Hiss. What the hell is going on with this? It's completely unstoppable. The murmuring sound followed, and the picture in front of him flipped crazily. While talking, I felt the urge to vomit blood. At this moment, I was groping blindly and almost vomited blood. General, what shall we do now? Do you want to go shopping? Palace Master's confidant Zhao Kui took it for granted. Shopping? Are you crazy or am I crazy? Call. Haven't you seen the current situation? Shopping can only be a dead end. No. This is absolutely not possible. It's going to happen, it's going to happen. It must collapse. If there is a slight deviation, it will be completely cold. This is not what I want to see at all. If it doesn't work, just vote. Call. He who knows current affairs is a hero. Didn't everyone say that? Since you can't beat it, then surrender. Anyway, this is not too embarrassing. After all, the gap lies here. General Li Yafu glanced around and saw that half of his 2,000 troops had been lost. If this tossing continues, the last bit of soldiers and horses will probably die too. So, do you want to continue fighting? The brain is a good thing, but it must not be without it. If the brain is what, it will be really cold. Especially at this time, you must grasp these measures in your heart. Surrender directly. Is this a bit too casual? Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4190. Palace Master's confidant Zhao Kui opened his mouth, and now he followed Ma Zhou directly. I can't understand what you're saying. Can you stop for a little while? Just say that. Made me at a loss. Good guy, hold on to this rhythm. Unable to hold back, he stopped directly. Just now he put on a face and said that he would hang and beat all dissatisfied. And now you pull your hips? Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine? That's it? This thing has the meaning of a hammer. Mentality or something has long since collapsed with blood. The rest of those have some or no. There is no need to talk anymore. Because in the end, I really want to vomit blood. This is really too difficult. General, why don't we think about it again? Zhao Kui couldn't help reminding. Consider. What is there to consider? If you waste any more time, your life will really be lost. Or, run away directly. You reminded me. If I surrender directly, this Fang Fan might kill me immediately. After all, I scolded him just now. Hey! Careless. At that time, it was purely because he didn't have many people under his command, so he didn't think it mattered. It's all right now, I was turned into an army. If only I could hold it back then. Right now, I can only grit my teeth and bear it. General Li Yafu rolled his eyeballs, and then flew into the air. Brothers! The traitor is at hand. Kill! Kill me! Kill them all! My lord's reinforcements are coming soon. My lord has already prepared countless rewards, just waiting for your meritorious service. Brothers, don't be afraid. They're all paper tigers. They're all trash. Nothing special. Brothers, fight to the end with me. Brothers, get tough. Brothers, the opportunity to make contributions is right in front of you. Go. Go. General Li Yafu frantically urged the others to hurry up. As for himself, he slipped faster than a rabbit at the moment. After temporarily stabilizing the soldiers and horses under his command, he smeared oil on the soles of his feet and ran away. The remnants of Qinchangling Mansion who were left behind were dumbfounded. Zhao Kui. Originally, when he saw General Li Yafu yelling impassionedly there, he thought this guy had changed his sex. Now it seems that he is completely overthinking. Transgender. That's it? Is it possible? For a moment, all mentality went numb. Feeling the situation of sand sculptures, I really want to vomit blood directly. Oh shit. I decided to run away, so why don't you call me in advance? Grass. What do you say, good brother for a lifetime? Liar. All liars. See through. Dog thing. It's clearly a dog thing. The posture of gnashing teeth was fully displayed, and then the black lines on the forehead became more and more. At the moment, I can't hold it anymore. Sand sculpture. All sand sculptures. All the fun here is over. Nothing, that's it? That's it? Boring. For a while, I became anxious. The mansion lord's confidant Zhao Kui swallowed a mouthful of saliva at this moment, and before the other soldiers could react, he started his escape with full speed and lightning. General Li Yafu has run away, is there any reason for him to stay in this ghost place? In the end it will only be a dead end. Instead of being cheated to death, it is better to find a chance to escape now. No matter what, running is always the most important thing. He didn't want to be cheated to death just like that. The generals have all run away, so what's the point of him persisting here? At this time, the remaining soldiers felt that something was wrong. There is quite an afterthought of citrus in the moment. At the same time, naturally, he was about to flee wildly at full speed. Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine. What kind of beast is this F***ing thing? Too hip. In the end, did they usher in such a tragic fate? Run away. All run away. They are too shameless. Didn't the general just encourage us to fight to the end? Hee hee. If you believe his nonsense, then you are also a sand sculpture. Anyway, he is also a great general. He is our deeply respected and beloved general. It's useless. I'd rather not have such a great general. Ha. Ha ha. Let's go. Get out of here quickly. Could it be that you really want to be cheated to death here? I don't want to, but. Not so many buts. This is our destiny. Many times, we can only accept our fate. I am ashamed to have encountered such a great general. Me too. Hey. Surrender, the end of this battle is not a crime of war. To be honest, it has nothing to do with us. That's the number of people now. Otherwise, or persist. Persist in. What's the point of so-called persistence? Isn't it still going to fail after all? The general has already run away, can we still make a mess? What you said, there is some truth in it. This wave, directly emo. The morale of the army immediately collapsed. It's too late to run away at this moment, let alone other things. Master, all are destroyed. Basically, no decent resistance was encountered. It can be seen that they don't have any thoughts and ideas to continue fighting. After counting the number of people there, Yuan Hanlin came over and said. Fang Fan nodded silently. He had already thought of the victory situation, but he didn't find it strange. It's just that the enemy collapsed so quickly, it was indeed beyond Fang Fan's expectations. It feels like it collapsed instantly. Especially that general on the other side, after all, is also a 6-star pseudo-god existence, right? No matter what you say, you should fight a wave properly, right? But in the end, immediately became depressed. At this moment, Fang Fan really didn't know what to say. At this moment, the desire to complain is extremely strong. If Changling Mansion is full of generals and troops like this, it will be a matter of time before they perish. It seems that a force can't be stable for too long. Once the stability is too long, it is prone to various accidents. From the bone, it's all rotten. In this case, what future is there to talk about? Hee, it was actually a joke. Fang Fan pondered for a while, then shook his head silently, feeling quite deeply at the moment. Next, send troops to Haijing Fort and Heli Fort. Remove the last 2 forts in Changling Mansion. Changling Mansion will eventually exist in name only. Changling Mansion is just a tiny starting point.